Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Sri Lankan Muslim Professional Forum, Qatar, and Tasbih Media, I am welcoming all of you in this beautiful evening for this session of financial planning and ethical investment. Today we are going to cover the importance of finance and financial planning and tips, and Sharia compliant in investments, and global Sharia compliant investment opportunities, and mutual fund and gold and other stuff, how you can invest. Qatar-based Sharia compliant stock overview also we will have a look. And this is Fauzan Rafiq. I'm a chartered quantitator, and I am the Assistant Secretary of SLMPQ. I'll little explain about SLMPQ. Sri Lankan Muslim Professional Forum, SLMPQ, seek to establish a platform to promote the solidarity and the networking among the Sri Lankan Muslim professionals in Qatar. SLMPQ is aiming to develop the group of professionals with common interests to develop and implement activities for the win-win situation for the both parties winning point. Our core area of our concerns are professional development and networking, and local community support in Qatar. At the same time, the local community support in Sri Lanka as well. And we are one of the affiliated organization from the state of Qatar, Embassy of Sri Lanka. So we have the authorization from the embassy to run the this forum. I would like to introduce our speaker, Brother Bassam. He is an expert guide and personal researcher on ethical investment, and having 12 years of experience in Sharia-related investment in India, in GCC and Globe. And he's currently working with Qatar Red Cross and Doha, Qatar. And he's the founder and lead person at Ethical Investors Group, which has more than 1,500 members, and it's a non-profitable organization or forum giving awareness about the ethical investment for in the interest-free investment in terms of his work. Furthermore, Mr. Bassam used to conduct live sessions and regular session in terms of this kind of seminars in Qatar and GCC countries and India and global wise as well. Dear audience, you can raise your valuable question by texting us, particularly me, as your mic will be all the time at mute. Your question will be raised to Mr. Bassam as possible, and he will answer those questions in the end of the session. Thanks for being with us today, and I'll hand over to Mr. Bassam for the session.
Thank you so much, Brother Fauzan. It was nice to meet you all, especially from our brotherly community from Sri Lanka who are in Qatar, as well as from your own native place. It has been, we had many friends back in Sri Lanka, and this has been a great opportunity to communicate with you. So I'll shortly inviting you to the presentation. For Ethical Investors Club to represent in this session together with you. I hope our session will be productive. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to get the best of it and prevent from any errors. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So first of all, I would like to invite you all to this small session on financial planning and ethical investment. Ethical Investors Club had been active in the last 6 years, and we have been giving guidance to the community in investing ethically and also guiding on the importance of financial planning. So I once again invite all of you to this session, starting with financial planning and its importance and how to achieve financial freedom, and later on with a guidance on opportunities in ethical investment. And I thank the Sri Lankan Muslim professionals in Qatar, the SLMPQ, who had invited us to this presentation. Before we start, I would like to declare that there is no conflict of interest. The speaker, SLMPQ, Ethical Investors Club, or any affiliates may not endorse this program or whatsoever decisions or investment that you make. Invest at your own study and research. Also, we declare that we have no financial benefits from any investments made by any participant attending the session, and the intention is to only share non-ethical investment options on personal research and experience. So in this session, we'll be giving an overview, as I explained to you, about financial planning and how to achieve financial freedom, and later about global ethical investment opportunities and some of the Islamic bank products that's available here, as well as investment in gold, investment of ethical opportunities in Qatar, as well as Islamic insurance that's available in Qatar. So let us start with the financial planning and freedom. To start with, so how to achieve financial freedom is our first question to ask ourselves. So for that, ask yourself how many days you can manage financially if your current salary or income is stopped. So when you ask this question yourself, you might be able to make a calculation of what you have as savings, what is my current position, do I have any liability, or am I having a financial freedom at the moment to manage myself if my current salary, which is dependent on the employer, or the income from my business, like suppose it is not being earned further. So in that scenario, if you are able to answer yes, I can continue, that means you are in a financial freedom. So financial freedom is a status of having enough income to pay one's own expenses without being employed or dependent on others. So this is not happening in one day. It's happening over a period of time. So how it is possible? You need to make a saving or consistent planned investments in when you have an income from such sources. So a part of your income should be regularly deployed in other opportunities and which will earn you long-term benefits. Or when you retire, this will help you to have a regular income without even having a job. So that's the basic aim of having a financial freedom. So how to achieve it? That is being drawn in this image. So the first and foremost thing, as you know, the largest ayat in Quran, which is about debt, ayatul dain. So why Quran had given this much importance for this specific aspect? Prophet Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has said, when you have a debt, you will be born to make lie. You will be maybe insulted in front of people or many other things, which can make your life discomfort and lead to stress. So the first and foremost thing, as a believer, you need to try to eliminate any kind of debt. Live without debt, that will give you personal peace, also achieve your goals easily. But you can avail a debt in times of need or when you do the business, for example, but don't do it beyond your capacity or only if it is essential. And you make it in writing between the parties as specified in the Quran. So to protect among the deals between yourself, but our first and foremost aim is to have eliminate debt as much as possible. Second is manage your money. The income that you get, you need to manage it properly. Means the income you get, Allah guide us. We are just managers of the money, and the money belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you will be answerable to the money that we have in the hereafter when we make our plannings. So you need to make ethical, Sharia compliant kind of investment to generate further return or passive income. So when you have a salary or an income currently from a business, you need to put a part of that to earn passive income. And that should be Sharia compliant and which will help you to height to gain more returns than your current earnings. Also, you need to control your expenditures. So for that, there are many techniques possible in this modern living world. Everyone carries a mobile phone. So you can easily install mobile apps that can help you to manage your money. So I would suggest some one or two, like if you're an Android user, you can use Android Money or Monify, or you can also use it in your iPhone or other phones so that you can, whenever you have an expense, you try to get the receipts. And when you have a time, try to add up these things into your mobile app. So you will know which area, because it will give you a categorical representation of your expenses in different categories. And that, even it is food, if it is outing, if it is leisure, if it is any other needs, or if it is travel, you can classify them. When you can assess yourself, and where we are spending more, you can make a control. So this is how you can manage your money and see your life. How is it possible? So it is for you, for your community, and for everybody who are dependent on you. Also, somebody you approach you for support. So we try to live it simplified, controlling wherever it is possible. At the same time, spend also for your family, for the family, your children, your education, your own education, as well as your children education, because education is one of the best investments. If you are an accountant today, and if you are an accountant after 15 years, that means you are not maybe trying to educate yourself to make it a position with your employer, or maybe not trying to improve your situation. So you need to invest on yourself. I'm not telling about one profession, it's applicable to all professions, that you need to regularly update with latest technologies. If you remember the story of Nokia, and now which is the leading telephone or the mobile phone in the world. So it was once leading, but it didn't accommodate to the technologies. So you need to be same like day to day. Now artificial intelligence leads many of the things in the world gradually. So we need to be updated about all these kind of things that is coming as a barrier to human, which will be, there will be areas that can help us to make more technologically competent. So such kind of such kind of efforts should be made by each one of us so that we are the best in the industry and to make the best returns. Brother Fauzan, I just reconfirm if everything is audible, clear, and fine.
Excellent. Everything is in a very perfect manner.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. So, and we need to increase our own cash flow. Cash flow, how to increase? We need to make passive incomes. So we will now go to how to make passive income. Now, I would say you have a 5,000 Qatari Riyal as your salary, let's say, or even 1,000 Qatari Riyal if one of you have a salary like that. Then I would suggest you keep 20% of your salary as not your salary. Means when you get this income, you need to actually save this 20% for your future or other income, so that you manage your expenditures with this 80% remaining. And if you are a younger person, for example, if you are not married and before your marriage, you can even increase that to until 30 or more, or whatever is possible to you, so that you get another income rather than your regular income. So in this way, if you plan, you can get a very good future, inshallah. So now let me show you something on the screen for Brother Fauzan. Maybe we need to unmute our audience for a while, a few seconds, so that we can have some conversation with them. So there are two pictures. One is a home, one is a car. Okay. And let me know, are these assets the home and the car? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear
Yes,
now?
now I think
Yeah.
everybody can unmute themselves and answer for your questions.
Great. So we have two pictures in the screen. One is a home. Maybe let's think it is our home, and let's think it's our car. So is the home and car its asset or a liability? This is my question to all of you. Maybe
Both are assets if it is paid by your money,
one,
my money.
2 or 3 volunteers can give a comment.
Yeah, if anybody want to answer, they can unmute and they can answer. They have replied like car is a liability, both are liability less than rented or earn net cash flow. Both are liabilities because these two makes us spend money. Mr. Brother Lukman has answered, and Anwar has answered, and Muhammad has answered.
Wow. So thank you, Lukman, Anwar, and Mohammed, for your answers. And that hello.
And I believe there is a
Sorry,
technical issue. Yeah.
some technical issue. Are you able
Yes, now
to
it's
see the
right. That
screen
was
now?
last 5 minutes or last 4 minutes was not very clear. So we can go back to that and we can come back from there because
Is it
yeah,
visible now?
you are visible, but the presentations are not yet.
Can you see now?
Yeah, please.
So that was the, I think we were talking about assets and liabilities.
Exactly.
Okay, so we were actually, what point that I would like to make, always try to make assets. So when these both can be an asset, when you rent it out, for example, the car is rented out or the home is rented out, or you have a 3-floor home and the 2 floors are rented out, all this makes you returns. So we need to make our mindset like to build on asset. It can be a business, it can be anything that earn money to you. So once you make more liabilities, the fund that you earn or the money that you make is usually being spent at these expenditures. So this is how we have to approach. So thank you for that comment for somebody who have responded in the chat box. So that's great. So now I have already discussed about to you about the 20%. So the 20% is we are making a saving, or if you need an emergency fund, you can keep that. Rest 80% is for your monthly groceries, healthcare, transportation, utilities, your rentals, shopping, if you have any other entertainments, etc., or your travel. Everything should come from this remaining percentage. So this is how some experts in this budgeting rule of a personal finance suggest. So how much money you should have as an emergency fund, which is not invested. So I would suggest your 4 months salary should be minimum that you have as an emergency fund. This emergency fund, when you live in Qatar, for example, you can keep it as a deposit or a term deposit in Islamic banks. That can earn you a very slight income, which you can make to pay the zakat of that amount at least. So in this way, you can make part as saving and with an emergency fund as well. So at a time of need, you don't need to immediately go for a debt or a loan to manage your expenditures. So investment plus your emergency fund should constitute this 20%. If you are possible, increase it to 30 or further as it is possible. So that's about the budgeting rule. Now, let me give you a simple example. When you retire at age of 60, how to achieve 1 crore of, I think, Sri Lankan rupee, and this is actually an Indian slide. Sri Lankan rupee, I'm not very aware of the rate that you have for a $1. How much it is, Brother Fauzan, currently? 300 something?
In terms of Qatar Riyal, we are almost 90.
$1
It's around, if I'm not wrong,
so
it's
it's 300
400
something, as
Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand. 400 something? Okay, great, great. So that you can correlate, I would say, about the picture that we have. So if you need to have a corpus of around 1 crore, stay at like an age of 60 years, maybe in Sri Lankan perspective, that should be around 4 crore, I think. So you need to like have a planning from your, so in the footer, you can see the age groups, okay, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. When you start at this age, you need very mere number of money to save in a month or to make investment so that you get a corpus when you retire. So at a very younger age, you need to only spend very less amount of, like for example, if you this amount that I have shown in the screen, please multiply it by 4 times. Means if you have 1,800 Sri Lankan rupee at 20 years, you might get, if you invest it monthly, 1,800 means this is mere something very, I think it is hardly very less amount comparing when you take to Qatari riyals, maybe 20, let's say 20 Qatari riyals at 20 years of age. If you are 25, consistently monthly, that can bring you a big return when you retire. So this is what I'm trying to depict in the image, so that you know the importance of early investing is very much properly started today, so that you are in the earlier age to make a growth prospect further. So as I told you, invest regularly. Let us make a fixed date of a month or a week or a bi-month to make an investment. So you save some money from your salaries, which you can invest consistently in the month. You can also even keep make a corpus or keep a separate bank account to keep this fund. And when you find opportunities, try to invest. In this way, you can have a financial independence once you lose your job, or once you retire, or once you're back to your positions, later back to your countries. So, and retire with peace of mind. So this is the plan which we suggest. Also, beware of any kind of frauds. Especially, I know you had been through in the recent years a very tough economical situation in the country and in your home country. So there may be many scams that is coming in the society to make or to gather the money available with people by many people or antisocial elements, or some people who want to loot the money in indirect way. Maybe they will present it very good, for example, like network marketing. Okay, many people will get attracted to this because of easy to make money, and they will offer the initial joining people may be getting a good returns, which will make everybody to join this and then make money. So beware of such network marketing plans. Please don't invest in such. Also many online scams which can also attract people. And also make sure you don't share any OTP or any kind of critical information through online or by call, even if it is from your own, informing that it's from your own banks. Even we had issues here happening. Similarly, like somebody will call from the bank and ask you about your details, and by mistake, we give the information, and then it comes that the money from the account is lost. So in such scenarios, we should be very careful and also immediately contact the authorities to make necessary actions quickly. So these are some suggestions that we would like to make when you make your financial planning. So as we discussed in earlier that about investing early. So if you are making just a small investment, let's say at the age of 35 years, you are spending like 20,000 Sri Lankan rupee per month, then you might be earning your total investment will be only around 60 lakhs of Sri Lankan rupee, but you might be able to earn a 4 crore or like 4 crore of Sri Lankan as your corpus when you retire. So similarly, if you are late 5 years, it will come to half of it because the time is not planned or started, the investment was not started early. This calculation is based on a 12% return in 1 year, approximately from the investment that you make. So early investment is very important to make a good corpus when you retire. And whenever you make an investment, one thing we have to make sure is you follow the Sharia standards. IOF is one of the body based in Bahrain, established in 1991, especially addressing the modern financial products, counting and auditing and all kind of modern financial products that is available, which was not familiar to earlier days. So they have issued around hundreds of standards in when we are in a multi society. So in this, we have to follow such standards to keep up with us as in mentioned in the Sharia, so that our investments are not mingling with any interest-based or non-halal aspects of investment. So we have to be very sure that whatever we are involving in with, whatever business or whatever kind of investments, they should be Sharia compliant. So we can base on these bodies. There are other bodies in different countries. Also, there are Sharia boards for specific organization in Qatar, etc. Most of the companies, big companies, they have their own Sharia board, and the banks, etc., have their own Sharia board, which will make sure that the products or the investments are made based on the Sharia principles. So this is one thing that we have to make sure in our mind when we go to any Sharia compliant investments. Now we'll discuss some global ethical investment opportunities. Uh, you can see that the most upcoming method of the most currently most popular methods in West, etc., is about crowdfunding. How is that effective to make an investment? Means the public will make even somebody with $100 or even with very less amount can be part of a big project by investing his money in the smaller percentage. And thousands of investors come together to buy a property or to make an investment in a project, and the returns are then divided according to the percentage that you own, and the operator gets an operation cost or operation cost for that per se, and the investors get the share of the investment. So these are some UK-based investment opportunities, which is also possible to be joined from here as well, like Yielders, Igloo. These are all crowdfunding platforms which help to make investment by a fractional percentage and to make benefit. The IFG is the Islamic Finance Guru, which is a portal which will help you to guide on many of these kind of investment and comparative study. So I just shared that on the screen. Now, when we come to Southeast Asia, for example, Malaysia is a very a place with a lot of ethical and Sharia compliant products. So they have some good ethical opportunity for investment, which is Blossom, which is investing in microfinance opportunities. Microleap also investing in companies. Ethis Malaysia and Ethis Indonesia, which are also such products which we can invest from being here. So these opportunities can also be explored so that to make our portfolio diversified. And Smart Crowd and Emirates REIT are some projects of crowd investment in real estate in Dubai. So these are on businesses in the Malaysian products. The Dubai-based things are based on for real estate in Dubai, which can also have a fractional percentage of ownership. And once the property is sale or the company declare dividend, the owners can get. These are all Sharia compliant opportunities that we have. And one of the latest method of another kind of investment is the robo advisory platform. For example, one person need to invest $1,000, let's say. So when you need to invest, you need to diversify it in multiple sectors. So there will be some questions asked by the robo advisory platforms, and these questions will measure your risk and reward percentage. And based on that, the robo advisory platform will suggest you a portfolio with a mix. For example, a part of your investment goes to real estate, part of your investment go to bullion, pass in stocks, mutual funds, etc., according to your risk appetite and your age and your answers to this platform. So Wahid is one of the most popular across the globe. Around 200,000 investors they have. Sarva is another platform. Taqwa is a similar robo advisory platform which is in seed funding stage. It is not yet launched. So these are some opportunities that you can find globally. Brother Irshad, if we can unmute him because he have raised his hand. If he has any query, I don't mind to answer if there is any query in between. If please, or if you want to, please, Brother
Brother
Fauzan.
Irshad,
Please.
can you please unmute yourself? Is it possible?
Okay, I think if it's not available, we can put it after the session,
Yeah, exactly.
Q&A,
Sure.
no issue, and he can come back. I would like, if somebody have a doubt on specific, even I don't mind to answer it straightly, no issues. Or you
Please,
can
if
keep it
you,
for
yeah,
Q&A. Maybe you get
no,
more info what you are supposed to ask in the further slides. So maybe that can help you to
if they
like
have any
customize your question.
question, let them text. I can read as well. No problem. Meanwhile, the
That's great.
presentation. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. So these are some mutual fund options which are available in a global perspective, which are also having Sharia compliant certifications. You can explore them more in the Islamic Finance Guru website, which you can search. And these are some of the mutual funds that's available for investment in a global platform. So for gold investment, these are some options that's based in UK where you can also invest. But I would suggest you have options in Qatar as well. If you are based in Qatar, for example, in Qatar, some exchanges like Al Fardan, Gulf Exchange, etc., they provide gold coins or gold bars which you can purchase on the day price, and you can keep for your saving. For example, you can do an SIP like 1 gram coin or 10 gram coins, etc., which you can, if you have the income and it's based on your Qatar ID and easily possible to purchase, unlike in our own countries where you have a tax. So here you have a tax-free situation, and later if you want to sell those coins, etc., you have an option to go to the gold market, etc., where with some deduction the retailers will purchase this gold. So or if you want to electronically manage, you can go with these UK based options as well. So I would say when you are in Qatar, I would suggest physically if you want to hold any kind of gold, which can be also traded at prices, especially when stock market or such options are in a downward trend, then you can rely on gold to hedge your investments. So this is one option which I would like to. Also, another main product in GCC or in a world aspect is Sukuk. Sukuk means Islamic bonds. You might have heard about bonds, which is Islamic bond, but I don't find they are very attractive in returns. But the GCC fraternity, they are highly investing in these kind of products. But as I want to tell you, it is an asset-based bond. Rather, the normal bonds are interest-based. This is the Islamic kind of bonds, wherein it will invest on underlying assets. So, but the return percentage is not very attractive. But I have said it because all the sukuks that is released in GCC are highly oversubscribed. So it is an attractive product here, but I just explain as it's part of an ethical portfolio. But in robo advisory platforms, you can even have a share through those in these sukuks as well. But for as a person, investing in sukuk is very little bit difficult because the volume of money you need to invest is very high. So these are the websites that we discussed here. Some of the links have been, you can take screenshot of any of the slides whenever I speak to you, and it is fine. And all these informations are free. The Ethical Investors Club is founded based on a non-profit and sharing information to all people to strengthen the community and to develop the fraternity in ethical investment. So you can later refer to them as you want and explore them further. The presentation will not allow to go in deep for each product, so you can have your own research as well. So now I come to the advantage of foreign stock markets, which is usually not much explored by especially the expatriates. In Qatar, etc., for example, anyone with a Qatar ID can easily invest in Qatar stock market like a Qatari as well. So you can also be part of the companies that you are regular, which we'll be discussing later in this presentation, which you are part of your daily life. So rather investing in some non-studied project, some projects here from our own brothers, they just don't do any feasibility study, but just make emotional kind of investment on those and ask shares from people. Then later on, it comes to a loss. So instead of that, go with good reputable companies of Qatar, key companies in Qatar, which you can also invest through the stock market. So even in all Gulf countries, we have Islamic Sharia compliant based indexes. In Dubai, there is DFM Sharia index. You can invest, being here, you can invest in Dubai. Also, Al Rayyan Islamic Index exists in Qatar, which gives the Sharia compliant stocks of the Qatar stock market. Not every stocks in Qatar is Sharia compliant. So this index will help you to find that. And in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Oman, and Bahrain, all of them have definite kind of stock indexes that will give you an overview on the Sharia compliant index. Hello, Brother Fauzan, please
Yeah, we can
confirm.
hear.
Yeah, okay, great. So now how is the Sharia compliant criteria being checked? So first of all, it is a business compliancy. Business compliancy means any businesses that is not permitted in Islam, like tobacco or like any kind of liquor or hotel industry, or these things are rolled out as a primary. So such companies or firms we cannot invest. Second is a financial compliancy. There are 2-3 financial criteria being mentioned by the organizations like IOFI, which is set as a standard, and which company applies these compliant to this financial compliancy, they will be also will be Sharia compliant. So you need to have both compliancy in order to invest in a company, and also should do continuous screening. And if there is a acceptable slight percentage of impure income, then you need to pure that impure income from your investments. So the Sharia compliancy refers to these 4 points: business compliancy, financial compliancy, continuous screening, and purging. And also futures, options, and derivatives, etc., are not permitted and which should not be followed when you are Sharia compliant investing. In international scenario, even maybe for your own country or Qatar, these mobile apps can give you a Sharia screening. This is one is Islamically app, another is Musaffa. It has a website as well as an app. So there you can, for example, if you need to invest in a company, you can type the company and check its compliance status. The Islamically is a paid app, which has an annual subscription of like minimum $10 or $20, which will help you. Sometimes it gives offers that can have discounted price. Musaffa, once you register using your email, it is 3 months free now, because it is very in the last 1 year launched product. So you can use these kind of apps to consider when investing in any Sharia compliant companies across the world or in the specific country as well. Islamically app, it has a country-wise subscription, but Musafa is having a more wider, as well as it is giving a Sharia compliancy for ETF, for mutual fund, etc. So these are the Sharia certifications of these. There is a 3-member Sharia board for Islamically, as well as there is a 2-member board for the Aman advisories covering the Musafa app as well. So they have a Sharia board with Sharia scholars who are setting the standards. So the first thing which I have already discussed with you about, when you invest in any kind of investment, you need to be very careful about the financials of those, and you can use the Islamically app, etc. will give you how much is the dividend purification ratio in case you are investing in a company which is Sharia compliant, but it has any kind of impure income, let's say. So now let me come back to Qatar. Okay, why Qatar is a good destination for investment? As you know, the FIFA 2022 had been just over. You can see a chart here of World Cup year and before and after World Cup, how the country's GDPs had improved in the last 60 years, let's say. So it has, for example, a country, this is an average by the IMF, like the year before and the 2 years before and the years going up after. The country has similarly given a good GDP output, better than the previous situation. So as you know now, Qatar is more focusing on bringing more population and tourism and other kind of improvement in different sectors. And the World Cup given a milestone in achieving many of its infrastructure and other targets, and the 4 pillars of development that is being mentioned in the Qatar National Vision. So it is improving and trying to be a leader in this area, in this kind of human, social, economic, and environmental development. And this progress is continuing. So this country will definitely have a good future in the coming up 5 or 10 years horizon. That can be considered an investment period to be like making an investment here. So what is the advantage that you get when you invest here? Because the Qatar Riyal is pegged with, for example, the US dollar. So what is the depreciation that you have in your own currency? When you invest here, you automatically gain it over the period. So this is how you can make benefit out of this when investing here itself. So it's one of the wealthiest economies and largest gas reserve in the world. And historically, it has given large surplus in both fiscal and external accounts of the country. So when the country progress, when you invest here, you can also progress together with us. So how to open a Sharia compliant, how to open an account in the Qatar Stock Exchange. So these are the documents that needed for that. You can take a screenshot if you want. You need to have an IBAN certificate, a 6-month bank statement, a salary certificate, and your national address. Then you can walk into the Qatar Central Security Depository office in the Searing Road, Al Imadi Enterprises, near to that, with your original ID and passport. If you pay 100 Qatari Riyal, you can easily get enrolled to the Qatar Stock Exchange Depository. And you can go to any brokerage like the group or Dalala, wherein you can make a trading account and you can purchase the national companies from these for trading. And one thing you need to see, if you buy any stock or thing, the stock, it is the buy or sell will have a brokerage of 30 Qatari Riyal, which you like the group or Dalala, this kind of brokerages might charge you, or maybe your own bank will have an option to make trading accounts. So you need to obtain an NIN number by this process, and then you can proceed to purchase and hold some of these stocks which have a future. So another thing is about when you deal with banks in Qatar, try to deal with the Islamic banks, because as we want to strengthen this economy, which is like giving the real alternative to the conventional interest-based system. So we have 4 Islamic banks, mainly the Qatar Islamic Bank, Dukhan Bank, QIIB, and Musaf Rayan in Qatar. So when you deal your own personal finance, try to deal with these banks so that you get your investments in the interest-free environment, and not to like have anything related to invest with your bank or your banking products. Also, next is I would suggest you that please, if you are using credit cards, I always, the first point I discussed in this financial planning today was about eliminating debt. The credit card always like motivate you to make more money as a loan, or like to make credit even though you are not owning that money. So let's use instead a prepaid card. Prepaid card means it will give you all functions of a credit card. And there is one card I would like to suggest because of its attractiveness. There is one card by Mustapha Ryan Bank. If you have an account there, you can have this prepaid card. It is only 20 reals cost. And you can start with minimum 150 as deposit, whatever until 30,000 you can deposit in the card. But this is not credit, but rather you will have all facilities of a credit card, but you need to load the card with money before you use it. So that will control your expenses, but you can use it for POS or online or any kind of purpose. Plus, around 25 international airports have access, especially all GCC airports are having free access for this card. So this is a platinum card which you will get for very less cost, and you can avoid using a credit card that can help you in managing your expenditures with some benefits of a credit card. And this is one suggestion which I would like to make. And next is about, we discussed about emergency fund. I told you that we should have around 4 months of salary minimum as an emergency fund. And if you are able to save more, then you can keep a little more corpus so that any emergency medical or family needs, you can use this fund instead of investing that. So such funds can be kept in Islamic banks as a term deposit for a 1 year or 2 year period. I have just put this is an old like percentage calculation. Maybe you can check in the bank website for the recent, like they are revised every time. Also, it's not fixed. So, but you can still earn a 2%, 2.5 or 3%, etc. for a term deposit. That will give you some returns which you can use to pay the zakat of that amount for the emergency fund. This is one kind of cash how to keep. For example, what my suggestion is, last 5 years, when you compare with LKR to US dollar, I think it has depreciated 100%. Means if you are keeping 5,000 reals in the last 5 years in Qatar Bank, now the value, if you have transferred it 5 years back to your own country, the value is zero. The value of that money is zero. Rather, if you have kept it here, you have earned 100% income. So any liquid fund that you have, you will be able to try to keep it locally here, so that anytime you get a benefit out of it. I think only the recent period from February to now, I think Sri Lankan rupee had made an advancement a little bit in this regard, but it was having a steep going down in the other period. So such times, do not, whenever you get a rate better or like that, don't have a tendency to transfer the money back home. Rather keep it with you and deposit it in something, and then when you need it really for an investment that can make you a good returns, only you transfer back to your country. This is one financial planning suggestions. It's up to you to follow. Now, next is about Islamic insurances, which you have in Qatar. And you might be having a vehicle. Maybe later you will have a medical insurance once it is implemented. Now we are availing travel insurances to bring our families. So for all these things, try to make your insurances with these 5 Sharia compliant insurance companies. Means they are from the Sharia compliant Takaful, the cooperative insurance models, rather the interest based insurances. So some of the very popular insurances are not Sharia compliant. So try to your policies for your vehicles or other things from these 5 Takaful or Islamic kind of insurance products. And these other non-Sharia compliant, they will be exposing you to an interest-based kind of insurances. So this is one advice also which I would like to suggest. And in Qatar stock market, now coming back to the investment, I'll be going with some selected companies to be explained, also better, so that to understand about the market and more studies you can make further before you make any kind of investment. We have around 50 plus listed companies in the Qatar stock market. Among them, around 26 are Sharia compliant, the remaining are not. I will be sharing a list also in the further slides. The biggest attraction is that there is no tax for individuals at the moment, unlike our own countries. And the Qatari Riyal is pegged to US dollar. So when the US dollar appreciates, that is directly appreciate the Qatari Riyal as well. And the most of listed companies are with government and other official entities are also stakeholders or shareholders. So and monitored for good governance, and usually give an annual good dividend also. So you can be part of these companies for a period horizon of 5 to 10 years at least, so that you get a partner or a shareholder in this company that can make a capital appreciation in the long term, as well as get a dividend income from them. So these are the Sharia compliant stocks list of in Qatar. Maybe this is not a latest checked one, but these companies are Sharia compliant. Approximately, you can rely on them. So when you select for investment or comparison studies, you can select these companies. So there are different sectors, which I will be talking in the further slides. So these are some websites that can help, or mobile apps that can help you to learn about performance of stocks in Qatar stock market. The QE.com.qa is the official website of Qatar Stock Exchange. And we have other apps as well, other websites and apps as well, which can help you to make a study on the stocks that you invest. And this is a Vision 2030 portfolio, which I have been first discussed on before 2 years. And these companies are some of the good performing companies, which I see there is a future when the country grows. Together with that, these companies also will make benefit of this in the next 5 to 10 years. So according to the Qatar National Vision, this is just my proposal. Maybe you have difference of opinion with that, but just suggesting some stocks that can give a long-term returns over the time. The Almira, which is very familiar to you, Baladna, which has over. I'll be going a little bit detail on this. This QATR, which is shown on the top, this is an ETF similar to a mutual fund, which has the Al Rayyan Islamic Index as the underlying index, and it is a constituent of around 20 to 22 stocks in the Qatar stock market. So that can also give you like a mix or bucket of stocks when you invest in QATR, but it's also traded as a stock as it is an ETF. Brother Fauzan, how much time might be possible to continue? I can plan.
Brother, you are free to continue, no issues.
Okay, I think the Adhan is on the background. We can take just an Adhan break. That would be fine if you are okay.
Sure,
For me, okay. Thank you so much. Just we'll hold for the Adhan to complete. Thank you. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. I think
Walaikum
Brother
salam.
Fauzan, can you confirm, please?
Yeah, please. Yeah, you can continue.
Okay, great. So you are seeing in the screen how stand performance of a stock. So these are some kind of criterias that can be made as an assessment. In the QE.com.qa website, you can download a financial indicator wherein you will have these details in an Excel sheet for the companies. And then you filter out the Sharia compliant companies. Then you get the result of which is best performing, which giving the more dividend, etc. So I'm not going into individual details, but just mention that you can find it much. Yes, so now we'll discuss about some of the consumer goods and services that we have in Qatar, known companies to us, which we will be discussing what's their current function, etc. So one of the main company, which is Baladna, I think currently it is on a revamping stage after, everybody is very well known about Baladna company. It has around, this is a Qatar-based food company that operates livestock and dairy farm with a capacity of around 24,000 cows, and in a very controlled environment. Even we can visit as an expatriates or other people. And it has a good market share in different segments, as I show in the slide. This is a little bit before sometime the percentage may be variable right now. This slide is a little bit before prepared. So I'm just telling in the future now they have around 200 products, and also now in provision of exporting to some countries, and they have new MOUs in different Malaysia, Philippines, etc. Also exporting to Morocco and some other countries as well. And the product is of high quality, as we all know. And this, I think the company have a bright future going ahead with in the future, and which has replaced the other competitors in the tough time and still a market leader. Now, next is about Almira, which is one of the favorite shopping destinations of the native people, as well as now with the expatriates. It recently have been very much upgraded in services, and every outlets have been highly developed. They have around 55 plus stores in Qatar and 6 stores in Oman with over 1 lakh square meter of selling area. The company mainly operate in 3 business segments: retail, investment, and leasing segments. Even they are renting shops in various malls, and there is an investment aspect as well. So there are around 6 divisions for the company: the holding company, supermarkets, development in real estate, Qatar market. There is bakeries and bookstores as well. So that company, I think, has a good future going ahead. During COVID time, they made a good progress, and good returns were being given to the investors. In the last 1 year, from the last 1 year, the Qatar market has corrected around 5 to 6%. So most of the companies, that's about the global recession which is happening right now. So I think it is a right time to enter into these companies for the future that they will develop. Another is WOQOD. WOQOD company, which is the leading Qatar fuel company. It has operations in multi sectors, and monthly they are opening new outlets across Qatar. So now around 105 stations in 2020. That is the statistics a bit before, but they are into many kind of operation: diesel and gasoline, the petrol, jet fuel for the flights, LPG, natural gas, CNG. The road tarring, bitumen operations, vehicle inspections, into multi sectors, and one of the leading company in Qatar. So I think it doesn't have much competitors, so it will still grow on the time when the now especially the national strategy of bringing in more people. That means more fuel, more future prospect. Next is about the daily khubus that we eat. The Q-Bake company with the QFM, the all the kind of flour and that we purchase from the market. The oils that we get, the Al Rai, the Adira, the Zain, all these companies of oils all belongs to Zad Holding Company. So you can also, when you eat, remember I say, like when you eat khubus, how about owning a part of it when as a company? So try to have a participation in Qatar Flour Mills company comes under it, Said Bakery, the National Food Company, the National Qatar Food Industries. All these companies comes under Zad Holding. It is founded, it's in one of the oldest companies also. And from that period until now, it has been in a progress, and even consistently gives dividend as well as bonus shares to the shareholders. So it will be further having a good progress with more varieties of products coming. Even recently, I have seen many products that comes to the market from them as innovative and according to the customer needs. Next is about banking sector. The largest Islamic bank in Qatar is Qatar Islamic Bank with almost 26 branches. Also having presence in Sudan. Sudan is under, currently in a situation. They are also giving good progress. Also Qatar International Islamic Bank also made good progress in the recent years, representing the Islamic banks. In the industrial sector, one of the leading player is Industries Qatar, exporting to 6 continents and many countries. They have petrochemical product. Qatar is one of the leading petrochemical producers. So this company, they are making many petrochemical products. Also, there is fertilizer segment, steel. I will show you the. Sorry, just give me a second. So the company has CAFCO, CAPCO, CAFAC, Qatar Steel. All these constitute together to form the Industries Qatar. Very good progress have been made in the last years, and they export to multiple countries and one of the leading profit-making companies in Qatar. And next is Qatar Electricity and Water Company. This is not Kahrama, but one supplier to Kahrama. They have many companies. This is a private ownership, Misaid Power Company, Ras Girtas Power Company, and all this electricity and water that is generated is given to Kahrama for supply in the country. So they are a private company which supplies to Kahrama. And this is Qatar Aluminium Manufacturing Company. If you know the Qatalum, Qatar Alum, now according to the Amiri decree, before few years, this company had been formed and they are exporting aluminium, processed aluminium billet, etc., to other countries by getting bauxite ore and then processing to be aluminium. And the aluminium increase of price had benefited this company. Now it had been launched in a price of I think 11, like Qatari Riyal, which had gone to around 20 ranges in the recent times. So the company has, I think, a good future as long as global aluminium prices are going up. So aluminium mining, manufacturing, and affiliated businesses. So this is about insurance. I think insurance also have a good prospect going ahead. You know, every person entering as a visitor in the country now are mandated to have insurance. Very shortly, there will be a medical insurance as well. So Qatar Islamic Insurance is a leading player, Islamic insurance, and they have all kind of category, medical, fire, engineering, marine, motor, all kind of category of insurance available. And also there is Al Khalij Takaful, which is a smaller company, but also have presence in the insurance segment and listed in the Qatar market. And recently there is a company Bima Insurance, which is also listed. I have not mentioned it in the slide, which is also a good opportunity and have a future. And in the real estate sector, we have the Barwa Real Estate Company. As you know, the Barwa Commercial Avenue, the Mukenes, the Madinat Al Mawater, and many Barwa City and many Barwa projects. And they own a large land banks, which will be developed in the further projects as part of the national development. So these company also pay out regular dividends as well. So in the future, it may be a good opportunity to hold as well. In the private sector, Esnan Holding is one company also in the real estate, which Esnan had a setbacks in the recent years. I think going ahead as the population increase, maybe Esnan can also be a leading player in the Qatar stock market. And this is GWC, Gulf Warehousing Company, which was the official FIFA 2022 logistics partner. And in various verticals, they have logistics villages, etc., which keep the products, gives them rental income by getting the logistic support to the companies. And Vidam Food Company also in, I think, a very good business model. Before 2 years had a setback due to the government stopping the subsidy for the Australian meat, but now in a revamping stage with more outlets coming ahead, they are trading meat and chicken and other livestock products. So that's a summary about the Qatar stock market companies. I'm not going into deep detail of every company. And for the gold investments, as I mentioned to you earlier, you can go to some exchanges, you can purchase coins or such coins or bars, which can give you and keep it and later on sell it off. Gulf Exchange, etc., they take back their own coins, but Al Fardan doesn't take back, so you can sell it in the market as well. So in that way, you can make returns from the gold prices in the global scenario. So I would like to say a conclusion. There is more into the topic, but as we go ahead, I think we are already over time. So happy investing. If you have any questions, now it's your time. And I thank you, SLMPQ, also for this opportunity. I hope it is beneficial to every one of you, and may Allah help all of us to invest in against interest and prevent us from any interest and wrongdoings, and to invest ethically. And I'll also share my number and email. If you would like to have any queries, you can still contact me as well. So now it's a question time. Brother Fauzan, over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Brother Bassam. Now, we already received some question. I will ask whatever the important questions with you, so you can give your answers. The
Sure.
brother Rizwan has asked, kindly explain about the Qatar currency value after BRICS introduced new currency, because Qatar is not a part of BRICS.
Yes, the BRICS countries.
It continues. It
Yes.
is safe to keep money in NRFC account in Sri Lanka. That also a part. It is a type of account in Sri Lanka from one of bank, BOC. Maybe that is not relevant if it is, if you cannot answer.
Okay. So first about BRICS countries. Okay, it's a good movement globally about Brazil, Russia, India, China, and other countries joined together to form this. But still, you know, BRICS is an upcoming kind of group. There is no any solid position taken on any currency that is introduced by BRICS. So right now there is, for example, India or some countries have made agreements on MOU of trading in their own currencies. But I think in a global aspect, still US dollar dominates the financial systems and, you know, the banking system and everything. It is a gradual progress, and which may take a decade or two to, if everything goes. Also, these countries, they have governments elected democratically. Some of them have, so not like, you know, a consistent kind of, so the policies might change between governments as well. So based on that, we cannot give a short-term plan on and something expected which is not actualized. So I would suggest still the scenario, maybe there is slight changes, but of course, I agree with you that some countries like China or others are getting more into the highlight, but still there will be checks by, these are players of last centuries. So we have to be a little bit, understand the situation in an middle path, not to go to any of the extremes. Of course, one may have slight setbacks, but that doesn't mean that the other will be making good advantage. And second question about NRC, this is non-resident account, as I understand, right? And
Yes.
non-resident account, this is repatriable or non-repatriable? Because I'm trying to understand the Sri Lankan system. Repatriable means you can get that money back to Qatar or other country if you keep in. Is it a foreign currency account? Is it a resident currency account with which can repatriate? Brother Fauzan, can you tell me how it is?
Yeah, it is USD maintained account. You can maintain in rupees as well. I don't know we can take it back to Qatar or not. It's not confirmed.
I think usually non-resident accounts comes with an option of taking it back. For example, if it is like sent from here, you can take it back. But if money is generated from your own country, for example, Sri Lanka, which you will have to pay tax and then repatriate it to the country. So if it is a money that you send it from here, you may have an option to repatriate it. But, you know, keeping it safe or not, this depends on the currency. If I say you keep it in LKR, you will have the risk that I mentioned earlier in the presentation. Means after just look back to 5 years before, what's the value that you have now? So, you know, washed out. So that's the main advantage that I say liquid cash, better keep as an expatriate here. And if you have an investment that you will breach, for example, you will make like 10, 15%, 20% returns in a project in your country, invest it there. Then you can send your money, directly take it from your account and invest. But don't keep liquid cash. I don't recommend that idea. on your as being a Qatar resident. This may be applicable to each scenario. So I hope I answered the question.
Sure, sure. I'll go to the next question. What about the cryptocurrencies investment? Is it fraud, haram? Can you explain us?
Okay, my take on cryptocurrency, it is still not given a confidence to the person who are investing in that to their money. The history says 50%, 60% of the invested money had been lost in the recent period. Of course, blockchain is one of the latest technology which is still evolving. And when it comes to the real, for example, in a real setup that is acceptable by the governments, ultimately governments control the financial system. So when it comes in a controlled way and it has a regulation in place, we have to approach. And there are Sheikh Ali Muhyiddin Al-Ghardagi and Sheikh Abu Sattar Abu Ghudda and such scholars who have based in Qatar also had given fatwa in this aspect that at the moment it is still under review and it has elements of gharar, maisir, which are some of the things that Islamic finance object people to invest in, gambling attitude like this. So when it is present, do not associate with that until it is clear. And when we have a proper place in that, for example, Dubai, government had put some steps forward in this regard. Let's see what is coming up. And if it is a regulator environment, that time we can revise the position. But anything that makes huge loss, also huge gains, which is not realistic, it is better not to involve with those until it is clear. Allah knows best.
Definitely. So I'll move to the next question. But Ijaz has asked one question. The global investment opportunities you mentioned earlier, are they just perform for investment, or it is actually investment in equity or any other visual assets?
This one I have given a short notes because we have not gone to the products in deep, but I have shared with you the websites. You can see that some are investing in real estate, some are investing in businesses, some are investing in different, for example, robo advisory platform, they invest in multiple verticals. So it is depend on each different mutual funds, which I discussed. It is yeah, they are funds exactly. So each product variable according to the, so I think it is more details can be got from these their own websites to understand it better. And if you have any queries, you can also contact me and I will try to help on it as possible. My number is given here and the email as well. So we can take further questions. Yes.
Yeah. Brother Muhammad is asking, when doing vehicle rent out business, taking full insurance, vehicle insurance is halal or haram?
Okay. I think I have seen these questions before in some platforms as well. For example, you take a comprehensive insurance from an Islamic bank or a takaful, you can take it. If you are taking a third-party insurance from those also, that is fine because they are liable to keep the Sharia criteria for that insurances. So when you take it from an Islamic insurance, this product or its approval is by the Sharia board. So they will put such kind of conditions that will prevent you from any other kind of involvement or not halal or haram like that. Because there is examples from the history, from the Prophet's time, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's time itself, there was a calamity happened in one place and there was it was asked to bring a cloth and everyone put what they have together to this cloth and that money was used to rectify that problem. So this is one example of how takaful system work. It is a cooperative insurance, like everyone try to contribute money into a pool and this pool will help them in time of disaster or such needs. And if, for example, there is no disaster or anything happened and they are in surplus, in Islamic takaful, you will get a bonus or a dividend back to you. That is not being offered in conventional insurance companies here. But in Islamic insurance company, you get a dividend back. if you are a policy holder, you can claim that dividend once annually after the audited financial statement. If there is an excess, you get it back. So that's how, the company make an operation cost from that money, but there is a return back. But in conventional insurance company, they are investing in banks, make the interest, make the policy holders, if there is anything, distribute the interest. And if any money remaining, they will take it by themselves. So this is the difference between cooperative Islamic takaful system and the conventional insurance system. So one is purely on interest based on majority, another is based on fund, plus that fund will be invested to make returns also. So this is how it is being made. For example, in Indian community, I think even you can initiate something like that or join with the embassy. For example, the Indian embassy in Qatar, we have an ICBF, Indian Community Benevolent Forum. They have initiated an insurance product with Waman Islamic Insurance Company. And this insurance company, with a payment of 125 Qatari Riyal for 2 years, you can get an insurance. For example, if a accidental loss or loss of a person who is a policy holder, they will give you 100,000 Qatari Riyal as like for the policy holder's family. So that can protect your family in case anything happens to you. So there is an Islamic insurance like that. Maybe Sri Lankan community can also explore this possibility so that to add into that pool and then get benefit of the takaful system. I hope that's clear.
Yes, sure. Brother Mafa is asking about the shares, which when they purchase, it is 30 Riyal you have mentioned. It is up to only 10,000 Qatar Riyal. Is it so? Or if you invest more also, the charges per share buying is 30 Riyal?
No. There is no 10,000 cap. It is like a huge, maybe when you invest million or like that time only maybe the cost is deferred. But otherwise, it is generally, it is not related to the money or for huge investment, there is some differences, but normal trading of these kind of amounts, there is no any increase in the brokerage.
And there are some other questions maybe you can
Yes.
try to answer. If we invest, if money, okay, I'll read that. Are there any restriction to send money outside Sri Lanka from Sri Lanka as invest from taking back from Sri Lanka rupees? If I have some money in Sri Lanka, can I take it to here?
Yes, I think you need to check with the chartered accountant in your country to take an advice on this aspect, like how you can transfer the money, and maybe or your bank itself can help you on that one. So you follow the procedure there and you can get the money back in your, but of course, the rate that you get when you send money there, you will not get when you send the money from there to here, because the bank's rate will be usually lower. Rather, the exchanges in Qatar will give you a best rate of exchange. So this is one point you need to check out.
And same question you answered already, but there is a counter question. After BRICS, countries introduce new currency to dollar value may reduce. He's asking dollar value is it affect the dollars or not?
You see, this question will be answerable only according to the financial magnitude of such a decision. Okay, and when all the countries follow a dollar-based transaction, which to alternate, you need to have huge kind of mechanism arrangement to counter that one. And all the financial system mainly controlled by these dollar-dominated banks. So this question need more, financial experts to answer on that. Of course, I think you need to give a 5% weightage, in my opinion, with a 95% otherwise. But of course, it has a weightage, but very less percentage, in my opinion.
So final question from our side. If we want to join with your club, investors club, So what will be the procedure and how it will be? If we WhatsApp your number, is it enough, or these slides will be shared with us, or those are the information you can share with us?
Okay, I will tell you about our club. Ethical Investors Club had been founded in 2017. Now we have around 1,500 people as members. There is no any fees or anything. You just join our groups and get regular updates. I have suggested Brother Fauzan that if you can form a group yourself and add me also to the group, as you are all from same place, that will help. I'll keep it like, for example, Ethical Investors Club Sri Lanka or something like that. You can keep, which is, or SM, your team name, something like that. That will help, so that the information that I share in our all the other groups, I will also share with you. Also, if any specific queries in that group, I can answer those as well with my limited knowledge. So that can make you more easy, and you can create a group and make, or you can, if you want to, anybody of you can want to join our like a group. Other than that, you can send me message. I will join you one of our groups as well, because all this, the main aim is to make you understand and like guide, and whatever is knowledge is known, whatever information we have, we share, which is related to ethical investments and financial planning. So that can strengthen our community. And I think Sri Lankan community, we all love you. And also we want you to be, also come ahead and with your, even me, I had colleagues who are from Sri Lanka. I know your situation, what had been there. And we all want you to be also, grow and get into the best positions that you can. And also the difficulties that you face at your home place. We are all, so inshallah, may Allah bless you and give you more opportunities to get into good positions and good situation in your country. And may Allah solve all your problems.
Jazakumullah khairan. Jazakumullah khairan.
Yeah.
Finally, there is one more question raised. Can we invest using Wahed? WAHED. Maybe it's an app or application.
Yes, it is a global platform. There was a time that Wahed was not available for Qatar customers, but it was available in UAE. Right now, I think Wahed had made it possible also for Qatar investors.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, the question I have, I think there is, there are no more questions. So we are in the end. Yes, thank you very much, everyone, for being us to this evening and this wonderful evening. Very usefully things Brother Bassam has shared. Thank you very much, Jazakumullah khairan, Brother Bassam. And thank you very much, Tasbih Media, wonderful support in terms of IT related stuff. And according to my view, what I saw here, a lot of knowledge, a lot of things which we understand and which we got to know. Those are very new to us. How we can make our own investments in terms in a very good halal way. Let's see. We will create a group, WhatsApp group, and add possible people. And if we required, we will have one more session to give a better understanding to our community. Inshallah, Jazakumullah khairan, everybody. Thank you very much. Inshallah, see you in a different session.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khairan.